Hello students, in this vector lesson we're going to learn how to make a landscape like what you see on screen here. And this is a very basic way to create a really cool scene with a few simple shapes. Okay, so what you see me doing here is I'm just moving everything to show you that all of these little shapes here, can be stacked in a way to create this really interesting, cool landscape scene. So your first step is to go to Vectr.com. You might see it say new file if you're signed in, or it might say use online. I'm already signed in, so I just need to click on new file. And once you click on new file, you're going to see the vector canvas, which is this square gray box. And I like to start from the back towards the front. So I'm going to start with the background, which is this gradient background. So I'm going to click on the square, and I'm going to draw a small square to start, because there is a way to make a radial gradient, but I don't really think it's that useful when it's large. So I like to make the gradient when it's a small circle, because you'll see, or when it's a small square, because you'll see when I click on the actual color box right here, I click on that and it's set to radial gradient. We have the radial gradient tool right here, which will let us change the size of the gradient and also the position of where the gradient is going to be. So since it's a desert scene, I kind of want it centered, the lighter part going out to the dark part. And when I click on each of these dots, I then am able to select a color. So I'm going to click on the outermost dot here, and I'm going to start with like a orange color that's kind of dark. I'm going to click on this center one, and I'm going to go more red on this one, just like that. Okay, once I'm happy with the colors I chose, I'm going to move it into position to fill up the entire gray part of the canvas. It might also not be a bad idea to go to File Settings right here and change your file name, and click on Save File Name, just so that you have it saved and you don't have to worry about that until you have to save again. Let's see, our next step is, let's go ahead and add our sun. So that's just going to be a simple circle. If you hold down Shift on your keyboard, you'll keep the perspective of the circle nice. And we're going to make that like almost a white color. I'm not sure if I like this gradient yet. Let me change that to a lighter. There we go. Alright, and let's see. So then, once we have our, I'm just moving these things in place because kind of forgot what I did. Now we can start, let's add some clouds. Clouds are going to be straightforward. We want them stylized, kind of rectangular like this. The nice thing about Vectr is we do have a rounded rectangle tool right here. And when you click it and then click and drag, you get a rounded rectangle, and I'm going to make these white. And then I'm going to right click on that and duplicate, or I can press Control D on the keyboard, and I'm going to make that look like that. So I'm going to stack those together kind of. On the keyboard, so look at your keyboard, hold down Shift and select both. Oh, well, let me click off of here. If I hold Shift and click on both of those objects, you should be able to select both of those objects. Yeah, so Shift, click, click, you select both objects. It wasn't working for me for some reason, but now it is. What happens is you get this menu that pops up, and you can unite, you can subtract, and you can see a preview of what it's going to do. Unite will turn that into, those two shapes into one shape, which is what I want. I'm going to duplicate again. And then you also have this really cool menu up top that can let you flip horizontally or vertically. I'm going to go ahead and flip vertically on this one and put it over to the side right here. And stretch it out a little bit. I have a bird shape right here in the horizon or in the sky. That is made using 2 circles. So I'm going to go ahead and make a large circle. Let me make it black. And then I'm going to make another large circle and make that white so you can see the contrast. And what I'm looking for is this like half moon shape that you see here. See that black right there? Let me squeeze this a bit. Okay, so kind of like that. Yeah. And then I'll hold shift down and click both of those objects. And then again, you see where it says unite, subtract. I want the subtract one. So I'm going to click subtract. I'm going to duplicate it. And then I'm going to use the flip horizontal button here and line those up. I'm going to hold shift and unite those and then make it smaller. That's one really quick way to make that classic bird shape that you see in some art like this. Let's go back to our example. That's what that is right there. And then let's start adding these mountain ranges, these hilly mountain ranges. And I did that with the pen tool. So I click on the pen tool, and I'm going to start like right, maybe near the middle, almost halfway up the sun. And I'm going to click, and I'm going to angle my pen upwards, and I'm going to kind of try and make these long triangular tips. And click, and then once you go across the whole page, come down, click in the corner, go to the left, click in the corner, and then click where you started. Now you have a shape. Let's go and color that shape a nice dark red color. Well, let me see the example. Actually, a light color. It's like a light red. And for the border, make the border 0 pixels. Oops. 0, enter. And now what we can do is we can duplicate that, stack it here, change its color to something different, and then we'll use the flip horizontal button to give it, a bit of difference. And so something like that. Maybe the color's different. Here's a darker orange, or even like yeah, that's kind of nice. And then I'm gonna duplicate that one more time, bring it down. It's gonna be even darker. Make it a darker color, but this time I'm gonna double click it so I can have access to these nodes here, and I'm just gonna change the position of some of these points to make it a little bit visually different than what's behind it. Just like that. And then I can add grass. So I'm going to use the pen tool again, and I'm going to draw the grass kind of in the middle, not where I'm going to finish putting it. And that's literally just a few points. Close up. That's the shape that you should draw. And I'm going to position that over here. Then I'm going to click the color for it, and check this out. Here we have the eyedropper. I'm going to click on the eyedropper and then click on the color I want it to be. There we go. Nice. And then I'm going to just make that smaller. Place it where I want it. And double click it because this is kind of pointed funny. Yeah. I'm going to duplicate that. I'm going to put one over here. And again, clicking on the color block for it, clicking on the eyedropper, and clicking on this color because I want it to match that same color. Here's another example. This one's nicer. I like this one a lot. Maybe I should change the background to yellow in the gradient. Let's see what that looks like. Oh yeah, there we go. Oh, that's nice. That's better contrast right there. Let's add some cacti, or cactuses. Cacti is plural. I'm going to use the rectangle tool again. I'm going to go ahead and draw a long vertical rectangle. Click it again. Draw a horizontal rectangle. Click it again. Draw another rectangle. That looks like the number 4, so let me put that on this side. Or maybe if I duplicate and put another one here and make that taller. Move it over. That might look nice. Maybe? I don't know. Nature's weird. Okay, there we go. That's a little more realistic. And then what I need to do is, once I'm happy with the rectangles I put, I need to hold shift and click all of those again. Make sure, yep. And then I'm going to go ahead and unite those. Okay, so that unite button that popped up. And I want this color to match this color, so click on the color block, click on eyedropper, click on that color, and boom. Going to go ahead and duplicate this, flip it horizontally, make it really small, and I'm going to put that even smaller in the background, maybe like right here. Clicking on the color block, eyedropper, and then there you go. With a few simple shapes, you can create a really nice vector landscape scene. And you can use this for a variety of reasons. It could be a nice cell phone background, it could be a wallpaper on your computer, or it could be printed on a card and you can make a card for someone, maybe even like a postcard, something that you saw. And you know, obviously all of these colors can change and you can make it look like blue mountains, or even use some curvy lines to make it look like a lake in the middle, and so on. So there's a lot of things you can do with this, with a few shapes, changing up some of the gradients, making it all match colors. There's a lot of potential with Vector and creating simple landscapes. Okay, so if you got stuck at any part of the video and you need more clarification on something, feel free to message me. I can help you out on that. And or also just go back, review some parts of the video that you might have got stuck in, and play and pause and try to see what buttons I was clicking on in order to make it make more sense to you. Once you have it done, you need to click export, download it, send me the link, and then I will grade your assignment. All right, enjoy and good luck.